Imagine if we had like a DMR that could one-shot to the torso. Like, imagine this being fair and like, why? Literally just why? What is this, dude? So the Desert Eagle XIX got buffed again. Who knows why? Like, I don't think anyone could explain to me why it was buffed or why it was considered a positive thing to do. But the police barrel, the thing that makes this as strong as it is, has no downsides now. Like, they basically took away any downsides that it has, and now it's just good all around. Top to bottom, insanely good. It's a pistol that can one-shot to the torso. Now, that's literally why this is busted. If there was no one-shot torso on this, it wouldn't be an issue, literally at all. Because you have things like a normal Desert Eagle, or things like, you know, some revolvers, Matibas, things like that can one-shot to the head, which is understandable. That's not too bad. But you have a pistol that has 8 bullets that can one-shot to the torso up to a pretty far range, if we're being honest. Way further than, like, you would expect a pistol to, and there's not really any counterplay to it. So we're just gonna use it for a video. I know Oscar has already made a video on it. I'm sure other YouTubers have as well, because they should, and it should be talked about, and it should be questioned. It comes to a point where secondaries are becoming a bit too strong. Some of these updates, I know this is going to always be a theme with me or other PF YouTubers and Phantom Forces, where we're gonna say something's like too good or something's overpowered, but the truth of the matter is that sometimes they really are, and this is going to be one of those situations where it's way too good. There's not any logic behind it, in my opinion. I don't see why this was a change that needed to happen. I don't know why this gun needed to be this strong to begin with before this update even. It was already ridiculously strong. And now you have this. And you take other secondaries, you have things like the Executioner, the, what is it, the new Army Snake Shot, things like that. There's a lot of secondaries on this game that are just becoming way too strong, in my opinion. And of course, everyone can have their own opinions on it. I just don't see the need for secondaries to be able to be used as primaries. I'm trying to think of what I can compare it to, because the only other guns that like one shot like this would be like snipers or shotguns, but obviously that's not a good comparison when you're comparing a pistol to them. Imagine, I'm trying to think. Imagine if we had like a DMR that could one shot to the torso. Like, imagine this being fair and like, why? Literally just why? What is this, dude? I don't understand. That, okay. If I don't make that the opening clip to the video, God, somebody yell at me in the comments. That's just unbelievable. I just sat there, and those were all probably like 50, or maybe like 30 to 50 stud kills. Wow, I just missed everything there. But they weren't like I was right on top of them, you know what I mean? It's not like I'm in melee distance of them. Those all had a little bit of range to them. And there was nothing anyone could do about that. The fact that this was a one-shot to the torso, you know, way back before, was bad enough. But then they added buffs to it? And I know that I rag on Stylus a lot, guys. I get it. I really do. But it comes to a point where the decisions that are being made just don't make sense. And there has been some good updates recently. Some good things have happened. But when there's, like, the best way I could put this, a silly little mistake like this happening, how is that getting through? Why is it considered? This is just another Godstatus gets really annoyed at Phantom Forces updates video, because it becomes harder and harder to enjoy certain things when things like this exist. What argument can you make to use any other secondary over this? Other than like a Tech 9, right? Like you have a Tech 9 or a G18. The only downside to this is that it's not a automatic thing, which, God, if this was automatic, it would just be dumb. But like the only argument is that it's a Desert Eagle. It's a pistol. It might be, you know, it might not fit the playstyle that you want, but that's not to say that it isn't busted. Those are 70 stud shots from here to there. That's a one shot. Like, that guy just spawned in, and I one-shot him to the torso at 70 studs with a pistol. There are snipers in the game that can't one-shot to that range. Like, do you guys see where I'm coming from? Everything eventually comes down to a point of, like, a balance issue. And can you reasonably say, and I hate the excuse of like, oh, it's a Desert Eagle, you know, in real life, it's really powerful. That doesn't matter. Can you reasonably say that in a video game, a secondary should be able to do one shot at a further range than a sniper rifle? Does anyone, like, I'm sure people are just as annoyed as me. I know Oscar was like, what the hell happened? Even he just didn't believe that this even got through. Yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at with it, man. I would love, and it's been a growing issue for a long time, that balance in this game has become more and more difficult, not only to actually balance, but more and more difficult to really be happy with as a player of the game, because you have things like this that just shouldn't exist. And I think most people could agree that this is just dumb. especially that opening clip that I'll hopefully have, you're gonna see that and you're just gonna go, why? Like, why did that exist? And you should be questioning it, and it shouldn't exist. But here we are with dumb decisions being made. The reason why I'm giving this so much crap is because this is something that was so not necessary, right? It would be different if it was like an experimental thing, a new gun even. A new gun coming in and being overpowered is annoying, but at least that's like sort of understandable. You're trying to figure out the stats for it. It has to be something different than everything else. Like, you need something to play with. But something like this was already strong, right? Like, this gun was already really good. There's no reason for it to be even better. It's almost like when the Asval got a full stock, which I know that's not really talked about as much, and I think it might have been potentially tweaked. I honestly don't know off the top of my head. But like, that was when the Asval got full stock. What was the purpose behind that? The Asval was already a really good gun, and it gets to the point where that was... Like, the full stock on the Asval is a example of something that was added that just didn't need to be, right? Like, did the Asval need a full stock? Did it need to be more accurate than it already was? I don't think so. Maybe you guys have different opinions, but I don't think the Asval needed to be even better than it's already been for years. Especially something like this. Like, it was already a good secondary. Why does it need to be even better? And I know I'm just a whiny little brat who has a YouTube channel that they probably shouldn't, but my God, like, can we get to a point where balance is being handled in a way that really is a positive direction? I think that is going to be second to like maps on Phantom Forces. Balance has always been one of the biggest struggles and biggest issues that this game has ever faced. And like I said, it's a difficult thing. Balancing a game to begin with, hard. Balancing a game with as many guns that Phantom Forces has, really, really difficult. So I understand that this is not an easy task, and I understand that it takes a lot of time, but where do the excuses kind of stop for things? I know that I'm probably ragging on this way harder than it needs to be, but I think I'm also just really fed up with a lot of the decisions that are happening. And I would love to just see things go in a positive direction that a lot of people would agree with. And of course, like, I definitely don't speak for everyone, and I definitely don't know what's best for the game. Absolutely not. But from a just casual playing standpoint, where you get into a game and like, there's times where I'll go in, I meant to record a video on this like yesterday or 2 days ago, but I've just been busy, where I would hop in a lobby and half the lobby would switch to using just this gun. And you could tell everyone's getting annoyed with it. People will start typing in chat like, what is that? Blah, blah, blah. Like, it's a weird thing to see. And when you have like a group of people in a game getting annoyed at one specific thing, it becomes somewhat of a problem. And I would like for us to be able to avoid that in the future. And there's always going to be updates that may not go over that well and things that need to be tweaked. And I get it. But another major issue that comes with that, especially with PF, is that we won't see another update for a few months. Not the worst thing ever, but when you have something that becomes really imbalanced, it takes literally months to be fixed. So that means that we have to sit there for months and just wait on it. And I understand why. You can't just, you know, force an update for one thing. I get it. Trust me, I do. But how about we work towards not doing things like that? That's kind of where I'm at on this. So that's kind of the end of the video for me. I think I've done enough complaining. I've probably repeated myself 100 times, but it's just dumb, man. It really is. So hopefully you guys can leave some opinions about this stuff in the comments from yourselves as well. I'd like to hear about it. Because like I said, of course, I don't know what's best for the game, and I obviously don't share everyone's opinion. So if we can get some opinions from you guys, I'd love to see it, because I personally would love for this to be reverted. I would prefer it not to exist in this current state that it is. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.